Hello, superstar traders. Welcome yet again to another webinar courtesy of EQ Markets Global. And in today's lecture, we will be looking at the topic trend line. We're going to be expanding it beyond what it already is. We're going to be looking at the different types of trend line, what and what to consider when drawing a trend line, and the hidden rules that makes drawing a trend line worth it. So there are some things that you need to know before you can actually draw a trend line. And if those things are not in place, then the market is practically not going to respect your trend line. So without further much ado, let's get into today's video.
In a market controlled by algorithms and central banks, retail traders always find themselves at the wrong side of the trend. Today, we aren't just looking at charts, we're actually decoding the footprints of institutional money. Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm the head of education at EQ Markets Global. Our goal is very simple: to provide traders with a professional grade framework needed to navigate the forex market. From forex, commodity, index, we got you covered. From the London Open to the New York close, we bridge the gap between retail speculation and institutional execution. Today's session is part of our global curriculum aimed at helping you master price action and risk management. If you are ready to treat trading as a real business rather than a hobby, then you are in the right place. Let's get to work.
Now, trend line. What is trend line? Some people have argued, we know what a trend line is, but the market is not respecting our trend line. But in trading, in retail trading, people think a trend line is just a diagonal line connecting 2 points. But in institutional trading, a trend line, basically means way beyond what I just said. When we're talking about institutional trading, a trend line is a liquidity boundary. I repeat, it is a liquidity boundary. It pretty much represents the slope at which the big boys, which is the banks and the hedge funds, are accumulating or distributing their positions. So we have two types of trend line. We have a bullish trend line and we have a bearish trend line. We all know that we have three types of market condition. It's either the market is bullish, or the market is bearish, or the market is ranging, which is what we call a sideways market. And there are certain rules to drawing a trend line. So let's first of all understand what a bullish trend line looks like. You can see what the market is looking like. This is on GBP JPY, which is the pound yen. And we can see that basically the market is trading to the upside, at least this on a weekly time frame. Even if we scale it down to, let's say, a 1 hour time frame, we can still see the same thing, that the market is actually pushing to the upside. So for us to understand how to draw a trend line, this is actually a trend that is pushing up. So we can actually use a diagonal line, all right, to actually get the trend. So this is a good example of what a bullish trend line looks like. Okay, so clearly what we can find is that the market is pushing to the upside, and this trend line is serving as an area of support that is connecting the higher lows. So this is clearly a higher low, because if we look at this is what we call a break of structure. So this is the higher low that produced that break of structure. We all know that in an uptrend, we're having the market making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, just like that. So this is a higher low, this is a higher low, while this is a higher high. So now let's look at a bearish trend line. This, my friends, is what a bearish trend line looks like. So the market is pretty much connecting. This time it's connecting lower highs. So while this is a break of structure, this is the lower high that created this break of structure. So we can see that the trend line was respected, and subsequently the trend line broke out. Price broke out of the trend line and was trading outside of the trend line. Okay, so now what are the rules for drawing a trend line? Number one rule for drawing a trend line, we have the 3-touch rule. There must be 3 touches. So what I mean by 3-touch rule is that we have 1 touch, 2 touch, and 3 touch. So the first and second touch establishes the trend line, and then the third touch will confirm if that trend line is actually valid or not. So in this case, we have one line and we have two touches. So we have 1, 2 touches, establishes the line, and then the third touch actually what? Confirms the line. That is the number one rule for drawing a trend line. There will be 4th touch, 5th touch, 6th touch, 7th touch, and all of that. But it further just confirms the line, just confirms the accuracy of the line. Number 2 rule for drawing a trend line: avoid the reach. If you have to force the line to fit the candles, then it means that the line is not there in the first place. The best trend line are actually very, very obvious to everybody. Don't try to force any candle into a trend line. The trend line should be obvious to everybody. That's the number 2 rule. So I'm not going to start trying to draw a trend line when it does not exist. So trying to draw this trend line now, I'm not going to start trying to force anything. If I have this here and I have this here, I think my trend line is good already. So this is actually a very good trend line to draw. So have 1 touch, 2 touch, the line has been established. Then the third touch confirmed the line, and then we had a break out of the trend line. The market went back for that same trend line. So this same trend line that has been serving for the purpose of support is now reversed, now serving for the purpose of resistance. And we can see the price actually tapped into the trend line and then started crashing to the downside. So this is a clear example of that trend line. Okay. Number 3 rule for drawing your trend line is it has to be week to week, not week to body, not body to body. It has to be week to week, because the week represents the total range of price action and the points where the market rejected the price. So which is why I always advise, always draw your trend line from the week to week. So let's look at the different market. This is different market. Let's say USD CAD, for example. I'm looking at the market from a 4-hour time frame. So clearly, what do you think this kind of trend line is? Let me know in the comment section. If you think it's a bullish trend line, type it in the comment section. If you think it's a bearish trend line, type it in the comment section. What we can find is that this is a bearish trend line because it is capturing a movement of sell trades. So from here, 1, 2, the line has been established, and from here, the line was confirmed. So what is happening now is that the market clearly broke out of the trend line. Now, if you notice, I didn't do the trend line. I didn't try to put the trend line body or anything. I just went for the wicks, because the wick will, pretty much capture the extreme price points. So that's it right there. From here to here, and then price actually obeys the trend line. Then we can see that price actually went out. Now, price actually broke out of the trend line here, interacted with it for the 3rd time, reacted, and then broke out of it. And then you can see that the price actually traded outside of the trend line for a while before coming back for that same trend line right here. And then you can see that the trade is actually going according to plan. So this trend line that served the purpose of resistance is now serving the purpose of support. Now we're going to look at the psychology behind the touch. Why does price always bounce off a trend line? Number 1 reason is what I call order clusters. As a trend develops, thousands of traders place limit orders at the line. As a trend line develops, thousands of orders are going to be targeted on that same trend line. So people are going to be looking out for the trend line, trying to place orders on the trend line, because the expected behavior is that whenever price gets back to the trend line, it is going to sell. So there is pretty much a cluster of sell limit orders surrounding that trend line. Everybody's going to be targeting the trend line. Okay, that's one of the psychology of why we make emphasis on the touch. The number 2 reason why we really talk about the touch is this: it also serves as a self-fulfilling prophecy. Listen, because everyone sees the same line everyone is buying and selling almost at the same pot, thereby creating the bounce you see on the chart and creating also a pool of liquidity. So we're going to dive into real life examples on how you can use the trend line and what is the best time frame to actually draw your trend line. So guys, this is the USD card for our time frame chart. Let us draw the trend line from a weekly time frame, pretty much doing the top-down analysis, scale it down to a 1 hour time frame, and between time frames, we're going to see the time frame that best serves the purpose of a trend line. So let's get into it. The number one thing we need to do is to go to a weekly time frame. Now, on a weekly time frame, the chart looks like this. Clearly, we can see what is happening. However, we can see this level here that has served as an area of resistance. So price has previously come into this level right here, majority of the time. So we had this level created here, price came here, sold off of it, came here again, sold off of it. So then what can we see? We can see that the banks are making the moves, the big moves, and then they are going back for a stop loss hunt, intentionally engineering the price to push even higher. Then this high movement, this push, is done for two reasons. Number one, get a fair value price for their next sell trade. And number two, take out stop losses of retail traders. So from here, we're expecting that the market, is dropping just like that. So clearly you can see who is in charge of this market. They push the price upwards so retail traders can join, and then they crash the price even lower. Up until recently, they have just succeeded again in crashing the price even lower. So let's proceed. First of all, we're going to clear everything out. So we're starting on a clean slate. But from first glance, you can already tell who is in charge of this market. The sellers are in charge of this market, at least for the moment. So what can we find on a weekly time frame? You can clearly see a breakout structure here. And then from the breakout structure, what we can still see is this. We can see that the price, from when it created the breakout structure, is currently being engineered to start going up. Okay. So why is it going up? It's going up to, take out some levels and then even crash back down. Now, upon closer look, we can see some imbalance, some price imbalance that exists right there on a weekly time frame. So I'm using my indicator imbalance detector by Luxango, so it just pretty much draws it out for me automatically. I don't need to strain my eyes for it. So I have my imbalance here. I pick it up. Why am I picking it up? It's because that is a place that I'm expecting price to actually reverse. We had an imbalance here that has been filled. Now, if those transactions has been completely filled, we don't know. If there's still some level of volume that needs to be accumulated into the market, we still don't know. But we know that this imbalance here has been filled to a great extent, okay, by this price movement right there. But this one was relatively fresh. And then what happened was that price has come into this imbalance multiple times to actually fill in, those transactions. This is what we can find on a weekly time frame. Now, how do we now draw our trend line? So from here, you can see that this sell that happened here started from here. So the market sold, bought a little bit, and then sold right here. So we can clearly see that the origin of this move began from here. So we can pinpoint the big money coming in somewhere there. Okay, the big money came in somewhere there. Let's look at a 4-hour time frame. So what can we find? Can we find a trend line? So we're doing it from week to week. This is a more expanded trend line. On the other hand, we can still draw trend lines. You can still see some trend lines like this as well. So this right here is as valid as this other trend line. While this is like a wider version trend line, this is more of an angled trend line. If you check the degree of this is like a 45-degree, plotted trend line. All right. So what can we find? We have 1, 2, the trend line has been established. And then on the third touch somewhere here, the trend line was confirmed to push to the downside. Now the trend line was still interacted with again somewhere here. It came here, respected it, broke out of it, and then came back to it and then bought from it. So clearly we can see that that is how we draw the trend line from a much more bigger time frame down to a smaller time frame. The best time frames to actually draw your trend line or to map where you're drawing your trend line is on the 4-hour chart. Now the 4-hour chart is relatively stable, more stable than the 30 minutes chart, which is why I said, listen, draw your trend lines from the 4-hour chart. Okay, so you get a bigger perspective of how the market is trading. So now from what you can find here, what can we say is the trend, or where is the market headed currently? Clearly we can see that that trend line has been broken somewhere here, and the price is pushing higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Okay, it has currently arrived at the imbalance that existed on a weekly time frame. Now if this imbalance is going to hold, we are going to know price is going to definitely develop. But if that imbalance is not going to hold, we still would know, okay, price will still develop. If the imbalance is going to hold, what we'll most likely get is a change of character. So while we're having a break of structure here, we will alternatively have a change of character somewhere here, which suggests that that imbalance is going to hold. Alternatively, we can still move our break of structure here and then our change of character somewhere here. But until that happens, we don't have a market structural shift in the market at the moment. So at this point, the best choice of trade would be to have a buy trade running, okay? And then we're going to be talking about entries much later in the future. Let's look at another market, GBP/USD. So this is GBP/USD. We can see how the trend has developed. Very beautiful trend. Look at this bearish trend right here. Very beautifully done. The trend line established. You can see third touch confirm the line. Fourth touch reconfirm the line. Fifth touch reconfirm the line. And then finally we broke out of the trend line. Then the market came back for the same trend line. And then what happened again? It pushed even higher. You can see the volume of that candlestick. So that's to tell you that that trend line was highly, highly respected. And then what happened is that price even pushed higher and then it's back again to fill up some level of imbalance, price imbalance. So guys, I hope this makes sense. So that's how to draw the trend line. In our next video, I'm going to be putting together the relationship between trend line and imbalance and how you can use it to take good trade setups that can last for days, even weeks. So do well to check the next video and watch that video till you get it. My name is Coach Priye, and I'll see you in the next one.
Consistency in this game isn't about finding a holy grail. It's about executing a high probability edge with flawless risk management. If you want to refine that edge alongside a global community of professionals, then subscribe to this YouTube channel. Do well to follow us at EQ Markets Global on all social media platforms. Wherever you are in the world, trade safe and stay disciplined. I'll see you in the next session.